They were actually Mexican nationals that were trying to cross into the country illegally. They saw Border Patrol, so they actually started to walk back. But they actually tried to get me to drive them into Yuma, and one of them said that he would offer me a 9-year-old little girl if I did it.
Well, Tuesday Daily Caller reporter who you just heard there, Jorge Ventura, caught migrants on camera attempting to cross our southern border in exchange for his help. The group offered to give him a 9-year-old little girl. Field reporter Jorge Ventura joins us now live from Yuma, Arizona, in an area which is called the Gap. Jorge, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so tell me about this exchange, because you caught on camera proof that a child was being trafficked in exchange for your help. How often is this happening?
Well, that was the first time that's ever happened to me. I've been covering the border the whole year, whether it was Texas or here in Yuma, Arizona, which is becoming another hotspot for these illegal crossings. And on Tuesday, I was just documenting this kind of large South American migrants that were coming in. And what caught my attention about this group was there was 5 Mexican nationals men who actually were staying behind the group. Now, one thing for the audience, if they're unaware, is when these migrants cross illegally, they actually just literally wait right here because they want to be actually apprehended by Border Patrol, since they know that they'll probably most likely be released inside the United States. But these 5 men were actually trying to evade Border Patrol, which actually first caught my attention. And when I went to go up and talk to them, they were actually trying to convince me to drive my car with them into the town of Yuma. So they wanted me to traffic them. And obviously I refused. They offered me to pay me cash, and I said no. And then one of them said, well, we could give you a little girl young as 9 years old if you do it. I said, absolutely not. And that's when I actually were able to capture video of when the Border Patrol finally arrived. You saw those Mexican national men turn around and actually head back to Mexico. That's where I was able to grab that video. But it was very, very disturbing, and they were very casual about it. I think that was the part that I was pretty shocked the most.
So 2 things. One, how much money did they offer you? And then you say once you turned them down, they left?
So they offered me around $500, which I said no, and they sticked around for a little bit. They were pretty adamant. They were trying to convince me. Now, as soon as the Border Patrol finally arrived at that Gap sector, that's when those 5 Mexican national men just turned around and headed back to Mexico. So that's a huge red flag that they're trying to avoid Border Patrol, either for 2 reasons. Either they already had a deportation in the past, or second, they have a criminal history here in the United States. So that's what was a huge red flag to me when I noticed these men, that they were trying to evade Border Patrol, and that they weren't trying to wait with the rest of the group for the apprehension process.
So let me ask you this, because according to reports, the Biden administration will no longer detain families at facilities on the border. They'll be released and then tracked using ankle monitors. How is this incentivizing these people to come over more? Have you heard a response from people at the border and Border Patrol agents as well?
Oh, it's absolutely incentivizing them. And this is just another lane for the cartels to actually make money. They're exploiting these people by convincing them, telling them, hey, we can get you to cross, get you into the United States illegally, you'll be released inside the United States. So they know that the Remain in Mexico policy is not being enforced. I spoke to a couple of sources with Border Patrol that told me that they're not even doing any border enforcement. They actually feel like they're doing border, what they call just Uber driving for these migrants, where they're just picking them up, processing, coming back, picking them more up, and processing them, and then those migrants eventually get released inside the United States. So they even feel that they're no longer doing border enforcement. One agent called it border enrollment instead of enforcement here in Yuma.
Wow. Oftentimes the left would categorize most people who are coming across the border as asylum seekers. But hearing your initial story about these people offering you money, trying to traffic a young girl, what would you say, from what you've experienced, is the percentage of people who are coming as asylum and people who are there trafficking drugs or humans?
So, I mean, the majority of people that I'm running into are looking to seek asylum. Now, those drug runners and the cartel members, what they do on purpose is they actually push all these family units, like you see behind me. They push them in the border, and the purpose is to overwhelm Border Patrol. So when Border Patrol is here doing the processing and asking the migrants questions, that's when these kind of drugs start to flow in at a nonstop rate. I was actually speaking to one Border Patrol agent that told me that between 2020 and this year, 2021, he's already seen an increase of 600% in the fentanyl that's making it here. So these migrants that you actually see behind me, this is actually just a diversion tactic used by the cartel. So when all the units are forced and local resources like the even human police officers have to be here, that leaves the border even more open for those drug runners and also for human trafficking. It's increased at an alarming rate, especially in this sector in Yuma. They've been impacted pretty hard. I mean, just last week during a 5-day span, over 6,000 illegal immigrants crossed illegally, actually forcing the mayor of Yuma to declare an emergency and ask the federal government to send more agents to the sector.
Let me ask you this. What is the morale of the agents right now? Because like you said, their job has shifted. There's been such a mass influx, crazy amount of trafficking of humans and drugs. When they talk to you, how are they feeling?
They're very angry. They're frustrated. They feel that this Biden administration has essentially put a target on the Border Patrol's back and doesn't provide them any help. What really actually hit the morale was back in September when those 15,000 Haitians crossed over, and then we saw those fake viral photos of Border Patrol supposedly whipping migrants, which we all know to this day it's absolutely not true. But they feel that the Biden administration continues to attack them. Not only that, but provide no help. There's no policy for them to really enforce. And like I said, the agents, what they tell me is they feel like they're just Uber drivers for these migrants. Like I said, they called it border enrollment. They said we're not even enforcing any type of laws. It's literally just picking them up, processing. They get released in the United States. You actually see this bus right behind me. This is the bus that's going to pick up these migrants here, then eventually take them to a processing center, and most likely they're going to get released inside the United States. So these migrants, that's why these migrants want to be apprehended by Border Patrol, because they know that they'll be released inside the United States not too long from now.
Wow, an unbelievable situation there. Jorge Ventura, thanks for your reporting. Hope to have you back soon. Be safe.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.